Well, good afternoon, our beloveds. Today is our another's 55th birthday, so 5 represents change, cataclysmic change, but 5 plus 5 equals 10, which is a 1, which is a new beginning. So today, in many ways, marks a new beginning for her life because she is moving forward in so many ways in her life. Today, she saw what is important and what is not, what she thinks about and what she doesn't, how she wishes to resolve conflict in her life and how she doesn't, who she is calling back into her life and who she's not. And the evidence is the proof in the pudding, because you will see in the coming months that people who have been estranged from her experience will be returning ever so slowly, like Ezekiel, Israel, Abraham, the prophetic son, the lost son, the missing sheep. We are just throwing things out there to confuse you. The fact is that there is no rhyme nor reason to many of the stories in the Bible except to manipulate people, believe it or not. Much of it is not truth, never occurred, and is designed to make the sheeple behave in a particular way so that here on earth you will sacrifice self before anything else, because the kingdom in heaven awaits you. But what if the kingdom of heaven awaits you here on earth? What if you can get your just desserts here by standing up for yourself, by setting healthy boundaries, by setting expectations, by letting people know what you like? For example, today our another did not sit there to see who would remember it was her birthday, because that is what a codependent person does. Who will remember and who will wish me a happy birthday? Because in her mind, it seems incredibly needy and almost presumptuous to say, hey, it's my birthday today and I'm honoring me. But this is what we had her do today. We prepared her for it yesterday. Her journey is really confusing her in so many ways, because her desired path, though it was our desired path through her as well, we must admit, was to make her small. To make her small her entire life so that she would learn what feels good and what doesn't. And now we are asking her to share on Facebook ad nauseum, right? What she eats for breakfast, what she eats for lunch, what she eats for dinner, her every thought. And we promise you that one thing that runs through her mind frequently is, this feels narcissistic to me, because I'm sharing this with people who don't give a flying fuck about what's going on. And all I'm trying to do is shine a light on me, on me, on me. And it doesn't feel good. And we're telling you right now that that is actually not the case. What actually is the case is that we desire for you all to feel so good about yourselves that you do shine a light on you, that you do say comfortably, hey, today is my birthday and I feel good about myself, even when I am struggling in other ways. So why is it not acceptable to say certain things? Why are you guys all trained and programmed to make yourself small, so that when you go to the afterlife, that somehow you will get your just desserts there? Well, what if there is no afterlife like you think? What if there is no Jesus and kingdom in heaven? What if it is just a queue that you get in to be recycled and to come back to Mother Earth again? What if that is your lot in life? And we're not saying that it is. But so many of you depend upon either this is just as good as it gets, and I'm not going to put in any more effort than this because I just don't feel like it. Or, well, no, I will play a harp on the clouds in the afterlife and be a gift to humanity by just living here in the heavens. But what if there's more to it? What if you are literally here to grow? What if you were an octopus and one of your appendages was cut off, or two, and you had to go to the back of the cave and to allow it to regrow itself so that you could once again go out and hunt and play with your prey before you eat it? or to explore and figure out how to solve problems. So if you were an octopus or an octopi, and Google it, see how highly intelligent they are and how they are constantly growing and learning within their environment. Put them in a new environment and they will learn how to escape it and how to manipulate and manage it. But why is it that many of you, and not all of you, feel uncomfortable making yourself the center of attention? Because it feels off. It feels uncomfortable. And why is that? Because in your childhood, as a whole, you were taught to make yourself small. And now what if you are the center of attention and you love to be the center of attention? What is it in your childhood that happened that taught you that to be the center of attention was somehow safe or desirable? And it's not that either are bad, but finding that counterbalance point. Narcissism is only bad when it steps on the needs and the desires of others at your expense. It's a balance point. Make yourself the central point within your own life, but then share your love with others. Don't be a douche. Don't be a douche canoe. Don't be a dirtbag. There are so many different ways that we could say it, but there are other ways that we could say it, which is just simply be love, be compassionate, be caring, be giving, be eccentric in your expression of self, and let love find you. So when you shine a light on you and just say, hi, here I am. Today is my birthday. It makes it easy for people to reach out if they see that post and say, hey, job well done, or whatever it is that comes to mind. Because you, believe it or not, are inviting them into this dialogue. So don't make others remember that it's your birthday, right? What if they forget? Well, then you think, well, I'm not worthy of being loved, or somehow I'm not special. What if they just forgot? And what if they just feel uncomfortable saying, I know it's your birthday, I feel silly, but if you put a beacon on, if you put the front door light on, the moths will be attracted to the light, to the flame that you offer. So for today, we would invite many of you to revisit what it is to be a narcissist. Narcissism, believe it or not, is simply a spectrum. Google it. It's not good. It's not bad. Narcissistic personality disorder, well, it's not that it's bad because we don't like definitions or labels or even classifications, to be honest. But there are certain people who were traumatized in one way or another in their childhood, traditionally through abuse, neglect, torture, dementia, which could come from their parents. There are certain things that can happen where you just simply are not cared for because of how life works out. We can say the universe planned it, or it can just be your lot in life, however it is that you choose to see it. But when you are not nurtured and cared for in your young childhood in the way that makes you feel loved and seen and honored, and where you are taught your place, which means that you are the mama's apple of the eye, but you are the daddy's soldier as well, meaning that there are certain roles that you play in different people's lives. If you are not treated well with love and respect and compassion, but instead are neglected somehow or not taught what love really feels like, you then learn to shut down that part of you. Not all of you, but many of you. And many of you think, believe, and have been taught that you have not and cannot heal. Because that is the statistical data that has been researched. And our other believes it as well. No, not our another. We're going to call her our other. And it is somebody else. It is not our another. Our other believes that you cannot heal from narcissistic personality disorder, psychopathy, sociopathy, and sadism. But you can, believe it or not, and it is not only through psychotherapy that you become aware of where your shortcomings are and how you can process it differently. But the thing that our another wishes to offer to this planet, to humanity, to the collective, is to find a protocol where these narcissists in sheep's clothing can heal. And it starts, number 1, through intention. Number 2, through opening the heart chakra. And number 3, in believing that it can happen. Really believing that you can heal. But the difficulty is, and many of you will understand this, those who have these types of personality disorders have great difficulty finding a difficulty with their disorder because it kind of works for them. Generally speaking, it stops working for them when a great loss occurs, as our another has shared with others. When your heart is broken into a million pieces and you don't know how to put them back together, and not because it's hard to describe, but when another person has been harmed to a particular way, but you don't feel other people's harms, right? Their pains, their sufferings. It all stems from self. My own life has been shattered. My own life has been destroyed. Everything that I have built into exists no more. And I am now sad. I am lonely. I am miserable. So this is the narcissistic personality disorder paradigm, where it's very I-oriented and not you-oriented. But this individual, believe it or not, through intention, shamanic journeying, neurobiological diffusions, there are certain ways that we wish for these individuals to begin healing. But it starts with the desire to change, the willingness to open the heart chakra, which is a very painful process, we must tell you, and then through intentions, and then just mitigating all the negative stuff until that piece of you or that part of you has been healed. So this is what has been first and foremost in our another's world in the last 3 years, if we're honest. She wants those who desire so greatly to be loved to find that love within themselves. Because if they can love themselves, they can heal themselves. And they can heal the world around them, because they will no longer behave like douche canoes. And this would be our another's greatest desire, to find a platform and a program and a manner and a method where this is viable, where those individuals who have the most minimal desire to heal can. And it is a long journey to get there, and it is a big prospect for us to engage in this process with her. But this is where her greatest desire lies, because within her own world, if this could be remedied, her children could have healthy relationships with both of their parents, could heal that wounded trauma wound within themselves, and begin to love and trust again, because that, most importantly, has been taken from them by what they have witnessed. Because when trauma strikes you in a way where your entire belief system of goodness, fairness, honesty, tactfulness, honoring your word, commitment, when those types of aspects of life were somewhat present in your life up to a certain point, even though you didn't really believe in it, it was to a certain extent modeled for you or existed. There was some sense of stability, and when that falls out from underneath you, you have no sense of trust in anyone or anything. And how do you build a future on nothing, right? And our another sees how her children were really traumatized by the dissolution of the family, no matter what it looked like before. It is harder for them now to trust in the balance and in the loving integrity of the universe. And this is just one small family. There are millions and millions and multiples of millions of individuals who have gone through something similar. And people say, there's resiliency. Well, fuck resiliency. Resiliency means that you have to step up to the plate after trauma. How about we say compassion? How about we say resiliency is not what we need compassion. We need people to say, I don't want to be resilient anymore. I want to experience, not give, but I want to experience compassion from others so that I can begin to trust that the universe is here to protect me. How about that? And so the question is, what do we offer to those people with the trauma personality disorders, which are across the spectrum. The labels really don't matter. When you have trauma, it presents itself in a particular way. And it creates particular patterns of behavior because you all are critters who are protective of your hearts and your minds and your souls. And parts of it get shut down and parts of it gets overactivated. And parts of it learns to just function within the dysfunction. But what if there was a different way where you could feel served and loved and nurtured and protected and honored? What would that do to embalm your soul so that you could trust again and begin to operate as if you were literally a newborn who had never experienced anything other than compassion during your birthing process? That is what our another desires for humanity, and it is a big project. It is not a small undertaking. We don't know if she can do it in this lifetime, and it doesn't even matter because this is what propels her forward. She desires for humanity to feel loved completely, wholly, and without abandon. And to see humanity come together from this place of compassion and trust, where nobody has triggers or wounds or anything upon which they behave or act or respond or react in order to protect themselves and irritate somebody else to make them go away. So here is our lesson today for you all. On May 18th, 2022, grow the fuck up by becoming young again. Becoming you at birth, where you have no imprints. We want you to grow up into who you were meant to be, which is loving and compassionate human beings, and not those who are triggered and traumatized by your early childhood experiences as well as other experiences that happen later in life. It is there for you to reclaim, but it does require effort, dedication, and trust that there is something greater outside of you upon which you can rely and learn to expect something better than what you received today or yesterday. So many, many blessings to you from Lake Placid. Our another is dreaming again up here. New dreams, different dreams. Trying to get into a place of embalming her heart with abundance. Abundance by spending money, by traveling, by laughing, by being present in a beautiful, scenic place, and where her reality back home does not exist for this moment. And it is exactly in this moment of suspension and disbelief of reality that you can find those moments of trust that there is more out there for you, and to begin to dream again because you feel what it feels like with reckless abandon to feel supplemented by the universe. And so it is. Namaste.